Hello, everyone. I am Dr. J, and I am so glad to be joined by a special guest today. We have Prajakta Apte, who is a registered dietitian and registered yoga teacher who specializes in gut health. But before we start, I just wanted to say that this information is for educational purposes only. And if you have any questions about your health, please consult a primary care physician. All right, so now let me welcome Ms. Prajakta Apte to the stage. Well, thank you so much for being here. Can you just tell me a little bit about your story and what got you interested in nutrition and more specifically gut health?
Okay, so I first of all, thank you so much for inviting me as a guest on your podcast. It's truly my honor. It's my pleasure to be here with you today, and I'm looking forward to sharing my knowledge with your audience. So thank you very much. Speaking about my journey, so I always had a passion about nutrition. I always wanted to do something in nutrition. Of course, when I was growing up, I did not know what exactly I want to do in nutrition in the beginning. But then as I was in the university, we had a guest speaker one time organized by our university who came and shared her story, and her story actually was extremely fascinating. And she shared how she got over with her chronic pain and illness and some of her chronic long-lasting symptoms after changing her diet and kind of making the right food choices throughout her life. And that really kind of blew me off. And that's when I decided, okay, I want to become a dietitian, and I want to kind of help people solve their problems and kind of teach them how to make right food choices, how to eat healthy, because I strongly believe in food as a medicine. It has a strong healing power only when you eat the right kind of food. So sometimes that food can be hurting to your body, but it's completely in our hand, and it's our mindset that will help us make right food choices, which will heal our body. So that's how I get into this field of nutrition. Of course, I started my career working in the local hospital, where I am in Phoenix, Arizona. And then eventually I started to notice that I am kind of having more interest in gut health, because, learning from people's story, and of course, taking some continuing educational credits, I got into learning more about GI health and realized that how GI health is extremely important, the gut health, because that can impact various systems in your body and can impact your overall health. Also, few years back, my husband started with some GI problems, and initially we tried few things on our own, but of course it was not helping him much. So I started to dig deep into what's going on, started to get to the root cause of his problem. We kind of ran bunch of testing on him to see what is happening, what foods are causing him actually more inflammation and building toxic load in his body, and making some diet changes, some lifestyle modifications. He completely felt better. His symptoms went away. He had, his energy back, and he started to improve his muscle mass, which was a problem. His bloating, gas, everything went away. He really became a symptom-free person. And that was the kind of a point that when I said, okay, this is what I want to do. And I kind of, researched more, kind of took different courses to learn more about the nutrition and gut health. And now my niche is GI health, the nutrition and gut health. I help people struggling with digestive issues resolve their problems and help them reconnect with their gut through healing power of nutrition. And I'm extremely happy what I do.
Yes, well, I can definitely hear the passion and the energy behind that. That's really amazing how you were able to help your husband.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. And I know we're probably going a little bit off script here, but I just wanted to know, what were like the key changes that you made to help your husband alleviate his symptoms?
Okay, so definitely I would say that processed food was completely out. So processed food, anything comes in a package. We try to kind of minimize it as much as we can. Started reading more labels to kind of eliminate foods with added color, food colorings, additives, preservatives, everything was out. Foods with added sugar definitely were out. What he focused more on the foods in its most natural form. And that's what even now I tell my clients, that eat foods in its most natural form. Eat actual kale in the form of a salad rather than having kale chips which come in a packet, because it's not going to give you the same nutrition. So it focus on more fruits, vegetables, and most importantly, if you have heard the term eat like a rainbow, try to add different colors or as many colors as possible on your plate every day. So those are the two big things that I can speak about, the changes that I help him made in his diet. Of course, nutrition is one part of this puzzle, and there are other pieces of the puzzle, and like lifestyle modifications, improving kind of developing good sleep schedule and managing your stress and everything. Those also play a huge role. So it was a more kind of a holistic approach is what I would say.
Awesome. I love to hear awesome testimonies like that. So thank you so much for sharing. All right.
Absolutely.
So I also wanted to know, because during exercise, it's common to have GI symptoms, sometimes of just like stomach aches or even wanting to go to the bathroom. Like, for example, runners, that happens very often in runners. Right. And I know that GI ischemia, gastrointestinal ischemia, there are some hypotheses of why that can happen, but GI ischemia can be a possible cause. So I wanted to know, what are some possible solutions around getting gastrointestinal upset when someone is exercising?
Sure. I would definitely love to share a few tips on that. And I just wanted everyone to understand that these GI symptoms that are developed during your intense exercise, like bloating, cramping, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, they are exercise-induced GI symptoms. And that definitely, they are temporary. They do not directly tied to the directly to your health. It's mainly because of the intense exercise and maybe some awkward posture or reduced gut flow. Reduced blood flow to your gut. So those are the temporary symptoms. And the solutions I would like to share here is, my advice would be to avoid dairy products just before the event or the competition or whatever that is. The dairy products contain lactose, and people who even have a mildest form of lactose intolerance, that can cause problems during their exercise. So it's definitely a good idea to have a dairy-free products before your intense exercise, such as yogurt or milk, which is made out of almonds, or soy or rice milk or something like that. And that will definitely reduce your symptoms during your exercise. Second thing, what I would like to suggest here is avoid high fiber foods. Again, during the training, high fiber diet is a good idea, but it's a good idea to be on a low fiber diet, for maybe a day or two before your competition or before your intense exercise event. Now, by definition, fiber is not digestible. So any fiber that is eaten essentially kind of passes through the intestinal tract, and increased bowel movements during the exercise are definitely not desirable and can even accelerate the fluid loss. It may also result in unnecessary gas production in some cases, which might, cause cramping. So a low fiber diet is recommended, such as, maybe eating just regular pasta or a plain bagel, or eating rice. Even in terms of fruits and vegetables, such as like zucchini or tomatoes or olives, those are the fruits and vegetables that are relatively low in fiber. So I would recommend the low fiber diet a day or two before. Again, after the event, you can add fiber back into your diet. So that is my second advice here. The third thing what I would like to recommend is stay well hydrated, because dehydration can exacerbate the GI distress. So keeping yourself well hydrated is extremely important, and that would definitely reduce some of these symptoms of GI distress during your exercise.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I actually learned about all of those through trial and error from being a runner. I had to figure out what foods worked, what didn't work, and I developed those solutions through trial and error. So this is for all the people. I don't want you to go through all the trial and error that I went through. So listen to we have a registered dietitian who gave really, really invaluable advice. All right. So second question, how can exercise help with certain chronic diseases such as inflammatory bowel syndrome or insulin resistance?
Okay, so definitely regular physical activity, regular exercise, it has a significant positive effect on insulin resistance. Any type of physical activity has a potential to make your insulin work better in your body. Now, during your exercise, your body burns a lot of glycogen, which is a form of glucose that is stored in your muscles. Now, after exercise, your muscles replenish their glycogen stores with glucose from your bloodstream. Now, more glycogen that is burned during exercise. So if you are doing like a long-term activity or something that lasts for, maybe a couple hours, hour and a half, then as the activity is longer, the longer the body's insulin sensitivity is improved. So more intense or long duration physical activities will improve your insulin sensitivity, and studies have shown that it can even improve that insulin sensitivity up to a day or two. So that would be my response to insulin resistance. The exercise definitely is thought to ease some of the digestive diseases like inflammatory bowel disease by reducing or minimizing the stress, improving your bowel function, and definitely improving and reducing the bloating. Now, I strongly feel that exercise is a good activity or a good way of reducing your stress, and stress can trigger, or it could even worsen your digestive symptoms. It can get you into a flare-up of some of these digestive problems. So exercise or regular physical activity will have a positive effect on stress. It will help to reduce your stress level, which in turn will have control over your flare up or over your digestive symptoms. So that is the important kind of a connection between your brain and gut, and that exercise will definitely help to reduce the symptoms that you are struggling with. Now, just like stress, I feel that poor sleep or inadequate sleep that could trigger IBS flare-up or any digestive symptom flare-ups, and physical activity can help you have a better sleep. So that is another way I feel that because of physical activity, you're now sleeping better, and because you get enough sleep, good quality of sleep, that is impacting your digestive conditions in a positive way. The physical activity also improve your body's ability to get rid of the gas, and this could definitely decrease your bloating, along with some pain or some discomfort that you're struggling with. So physical activity is definitely important that way as well. And the last thing what I would like to say here is it just helps you have a better sense of well-being. So when you um, exercise regularly, you are more likely to adopt the other healthy habits, and these other habits will minimize your digestive symptoms, or it will have a control over your flare-ups.
Mhm. Yes, man, you said so many awesome things. Well, first of all, I love how you touch on the mind gut connection, right? Because this is something that actually I recently learned about. I didn't learn about the mind gut connection in
Mhm.
medical school, I don't think. It was just
Oh,
mostly, diagnoses. So I love how you spoke about the mind connection with the gut.
right.
That's so important. Yes. And I love my method for helping people how to exercise is actually called habit. So I
Uh-huh.
love how you talk about, yes, when you develop exercise as a habit, you learn to develop other healthy habits
Right.
along the way.
Mhm.
That's the biggest lesson that exercise has taught me, right? So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yes, so it's all about, the small things that you do during the day to make those changes. So yes,
Correct.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So last question, what is the difference
Mhm.
between soluble and insoluble fiber, and how does it play a role in gut health?
Sure. So fiber has mainly divided into two types. One is soluble, the other one is insoluble fiber. So soluble fiber, as the name suggests, it dissolves in water to form a gel-like material. Now, as many of you probably already know, but the human large intestine is a main home for trillions of microbes, and we have trillions of microbes in our large intestine, or what is formally called as colon. There are some good microbes and some are bad microbes. These friendly good microbes, they love to chew on soluble fiber. Now, this soluble fiber, when these microbes keep chewing on them, it finally gets degraded into a substance called short chain fatty acids. And there are mainly three different short chain fatty acids that have been identified and kind of researched to show how important these short chain fatty acids are in our health. So these short chain fatty acids are butyrate, acetate, and propionate. Now, these short chain fatty acids, they help regulate our blood sugar levels. They help, kind of treat some of the digestive conditions like IBS. It also helps and prevent the obesity. It helps to reduce the risk of heart disease. So that's the benefit we get from having soluble fiber in our diet. And some of the examples of soluble fiber that I would like to share here is asparagus, eating raw banana or raw banana flour that you can, probably add into your smoothies or into your pancakes or anything like that. Garlic, onions, chicory root, jicama, which is like a type of root vegetable, and most of the leafy greens like mustard greens, beet greens, turnips, dandelions, those are all considered as the good sources of soluble fiber. Now, on the other hand, the other type, which is the insoluble fiber, so insoluble fiber absorbs water as it passes through the digestive tract. Now, the main purpose of the insoluble fiber, it helps to cleanse your gut by absorbing the toxic substances. The insoluble fiber increases the bulk of the stool, and it helps with easy defecation. So people who are struggling with constipation, they probably want to look at their diet to see if they're not doing enough amount of insoluble fiber, that could be the cause for their constipation. So I consider insoluble fiber as a sponge. So as you put that sponge through your digestive tract, how the sponge will absorb everything. Similarly, the insoluble fiber will absorb toxic and unwanted substances, and that's how it helps to keep the toxic load under control. Insoluble fiber also supports the natural detoxification pathways in our body, and it definitely helps to have a regular bowel movement, because through bowel movements, we all keep our toxicity low, or definitely the toxic load on a regular basis under control. People who do not use bathroom every day, they probably are building some toxicity in their body. So that's what the insoluble fiber do. The sources include whole grain foods like oat bran, wheat bran, nuts and seeds. Variety of nuts and seeds are important to have. Variety of beans and lentils like kidney beans, pinto beans, garbanzo beans. A lot of root vegetables are a great source of insoluble fiber. So in my opinion, yes, your diet needs to be fiber rich, but you definitely want to give equal importance to soluble and insoluble fiber, because they do have a different role to play in our overall health.
Wow, that was great. That's great, because I get that a lot from my patients. You know, they're constipated.
Oh yeah.
Right? They're always,
Yes.
especially the elderly patients.
Correct.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
They suffer a lot from constipation.
Yeah.
You know, just because they're also not moving, they're more sedentary, so
Right.
they have a lot
Right.
of constipation. So that is actually really helpful. Thank you so much for that.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. Well, this concludes our segment today. Prajakta, if someone wants to find you, how can they find you?
Okay, so I have a website called rightnutritionworks.com, or you can just reach me by dialing 623-556-3886. So I think that those are the two best ways to reach out to me for any question, concerns, any other things, any other services that you would like to learn more about what I offer.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for blessing us with your wealth of knowledge about gut health. Sometimes gastrointestinal symptoms can be, some people may be embarrassed, to talk about them in the clinic and just talk about it in general, right? So thank you for just breaking it down really nicely in a way that people are able to digest, pun intended. And you see what I did there? And understand the information and use it. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for all your wealth of knowledge with us today. And bye, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.